This is the NASDAQ 100 zoomed all the way out. This is the 1980s all the way back here. These are the Bitcoin halvings, these yellow lines that you see here, very important for this video. And I'm excited to do the video because it's another look, another perspective of the Bitcoin cycle that we're in, especially just after the 2024 halving. And this chart that we're going to break down, it might be the chart that drags Bitcoin and drags crypto into the parabolic move that we are all waiting to see if it happens. In this video, we're going to talk about that. We're also going to dive into the short-term Bitcoin price. I want to talk about short-term price action. What I'm looking for now, it's at a very critical area, BTC price. So hit the subscribe, hit the like. Let's jump into the video. Before we dive into those charts, here's the title. Here's the headline that really caught my interest. Crypto suddenly braced for the most important week after a Federal Reserve-powered Bitcoin price surge. So I was like, the most important week? Talk about some clickbait. But the perspective here is actually very compelling. And I want to just talk about this and just overlay it onto the cycle and onto the charts. So this is Dan Ives. He's a tech analyst. Ives expects Nvidia, which has seen its stock rocket to make it one of the world's second most valuable company behind iPhone over the last year, will post a mic drop second quarter on Wednesday. So the 28th, Wednesday, Nvidia earnings, the only game in town for companies looking to buy AI chips and GPUs. You might be like, what does this have anything to do with this chart, this Bitcoin chart, the cycles of Bitcoin? Follow me here. Technology stocks more broadly could be boosted by a robust reassurance from Nvidia that the AI-led boom this year isn't overdone. That is so important, that the AI boom is not, we've not reached the top yet. That's very important. The stage is set for tech stocks to move higher. And here's the really important part. Ives believes the market better resembles a 1995, almost 1996 start of the internet moment and not a 1999 tech bubble-like moment. So if we go look at this chart and we go all the way back here, I put a little note there. Here's the start of the internet, the start of the internet moment. Look at this, right? Here's the bubble that they just talked about, 1999 bubble. Are we right here? Well, first thing that I notice is Bitcoin halvings, they were not here at that moment. But imagine if it was. And here we are on this chart, and this is the Bitcoin halvings on the NASDAQ 100. What if this plays out? And this article goes on, the Bitcoin price and wider crypto market could be set to ride Nvidia's coattails if it beats expectations. Bitcoin, often touted as digital gold, remains far more closely correlated to the stock market, especially technology stocks, than gold, which has hit an all-time high this month. So Nvidia could kick things off, and it will be very interesting to see what happens with earnings, but it could truly signal a continued uptrend on this very heavily weighted tech NASDAQ exchange, right? This could kick it off. I know a lot of people are like, man, the high is in, this is it, that was it. But if you just zoom out on this chart and we do take into context the AI boom that is happening right now, and if Nvidia's earnings are really good, you take all these things into context, and not to mention what's happening with the macroeconomic side of things that could play into just mass liquidity coming into markets, this could go much higher. And if that's the case and we start looking at Bitcoin charts, wow, things get crazy. And we have data points like this. Soon, I believe that Bitcoin cycle top callers will be left in the dust as business carries out as normal. This is the third and final low volatility phase. And this is what's crazy. Everything we're talking about, you know, NASDAQ 100, Nvidia, earnings, all this coming together potentially to just be a very powerful moment for tech stocks and Bitcoin. It's happening at a really, really good time as far as the cycles are concerned. And what I mean by that is it's not happening in your typical bear market moment for Bitcoin, right? These bear markets in between halvings. It's happening right after the Bitcoin halving, which is this consolidation phase that Bitcoin is in almost every cycle, actually pretty much every cycle, and that's happening now. 5 months of sideways price action is not new, and that's where we are right now. Missing out on 2025 is missing out on 2021, 2017, 2013. And look at the chart. The chart is what it is. It's data. It's not opinion. This is just data. And this is kind of what I do in my analysis. So just look at the data. And yeah, we anticipate, downside all the time. We anticipate the trend breaks and things fall apart because we want to be ready. But we also just look at the data. And you could just see every cycle. Look at this. All the way back here, this was that first cycle around 2012 into 2013. It's 5 months, breakout, right? And then here's that next cycle, 5 months, 5.5 months, 5 months. This is around where we are right now. This cycle, this last consolidation, parabolic move. And then the next cycle, 4 months. Here's where we are now, 5 months, right? Parabolic move into that next bull market. And then here we are again, everybody. Just 2 months, 5 months. Currently, we're in 6 months of consolidation. And what's next? That's the question. We go to the weekly chart, this is the monthly chart. And based on all the data that we've had kind of placed and tracked, especially in recent weeks, right around here, next year, 2025 could be, if history repeats, the next top of the bull cycle. This means we have around a year for something parabolic to happen. And if you look at the monthly chart, you can see it's just a really nice picture of typical consolidation after the Bitcoin halving before this next potential move. I wanted to look at, before we dive into the zoomed in chart of short-term price action for Bitcoin, I wanted to look at a couple of things on the weekly chart, because I haven't really talked about this much, but I think it's a really important reminder. You all know I track the Fibonacci bull market doors. Just to give you an idea, 2017 bull market high to a bear market low. That's the indicator. It's bull market high to bear market low throughout these cycles. That green rectangle, for me, it's been just this really key indicator that Bitcoin is in a very strong position on the macro entering the bull market, right? This is what it looked like last cycle. It kicked things off really good. This cycle, we know what happened. For the first time, Bitcoin broke that green Fibonacci bull market door area before the Bitcoin halving. It was such a power move for it to do that. And now we've fallen into consolidation. But the thing I wanted to point out first is I can't help but just look at how these bull market doors have held support. You can even just see this weekly wick going down to that 50-month moving average or 50-week moving average right to the lower end of the bull market doors. But Bitcoin has really seen really nice support at this lower high Fibonacci. So that's the first thing. I haven't talked about it a lot, but it's a good reminder that bull market door areas has held as really strong support. And then the other thing I noticed with stock RSI, just notice this. Look at the stock RSI. This is a quicker moving momentum oscillator, but still important for especially kicking off parabolic bull runs. I just want to point out, it is not anywhere close to overbought. It's very much just been hanging out, consolidating towards oversold. And so that is incredibly important when we're really starting to talk about kicking off a parabolic bull run post Bitcoin halving. And we've already looked at the RSI so many times on Bitcoin. The biggest thing to point out is Bitcoin not yet has been overbought post 2024 halving. I know I say that a lot. Here's 2024 halving. Bitcoin's not been in this upward momentum into overbought, right? And that's something that has happened every bull market so far for Bitcoin. And I think that is still yet to come. So let's dig into the daily chart and just talk about Bitcoin as we start this week. There could be a lot of volatility, even amidst all of these bullish narratives, right? We could see downside, pretty big downside, actually, if we look at the structure of Bitcoin price. And what I want to do is just very simply look at target areas of support, target areas of resistance, and then we can talk about potential breakouts. But right now, the biggest thing to point out is the moving averages. We've made it above the 20, the 50, the 200. This is such a crucial first step in flipping Bitcoin into this upward momentum environment. But now we need to hold those moving averages. And that doesn't mean we have to hold above all of them, but we really want to see if Bitcoin's going to consolidate down, we really want to see support, whether it's at the 200 right now, whether it's at the 50-day moving average, which is around 62,000, or the 20-day moving average around 60,400 or so. We want to see Bitcoin just start putting in higher highs and higher lows to continue an uptrend at this moment. There's no guarantees that will happen. Current resistance makes sense, right? We have from this swing high back here to the swing low right here, which was just weeks ago, the beginning of August. Crazy to think we were in the 40s, and now we're back in 63,000. But we have this lower high Fibonacci. It's resistance for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, you can just see, has not broken out above that area. So swing high, swing low, this pullback area. It's the same exact thing as those bull market doors, but this is on a zoomed in daily chart. And we have resistance. We're looking for the break above, the short-term bullish confirmation break above. Currently, the 786 of the Fibonacci is around $65,500 or so. That's a critical area of resistance. If Bitcoin starts breaking above that area, clearly the next area of resistance before breakout, strong breakout, is the upper trend line of this massive pattern. And that is right around 67. It's right around $68,000. That's that really big macro resistance area for Bitcoin. That's to the upside. If Bitcoin can kind of keep pushing upward momentum. To the downside, I think it's incredibly important we talk about this because, yes, there's a lot of macro bullish sentiment. There's a lot of macro bullish narratives, but that doesn't mean on the daily we're not falling, right? Right here, this purple line, that's the altcoin historically. This is around when altcoin season kicks off. That would be November, around November this year. That's when things get crazy. What could happen all during that time? Maybe Bitcoin starts moving up before then. We want to see it. But what if Bitcoin keeps consolidating right now, right? What if this holds as big resistance, this Fibonacci? What if the moving averages fall? Our next target, if support falls, is down here around $56,000. Can only imagine what people will be doing around $56,000. And then we really have this symmetrical triangle even more in play, even more just structurally sound, and maybe we bounce from there, right? So we're falling to that area, consolidating. People are getting antsy because this 5-6 month consolidation just keeps going and then breakout. Or what if we break below the symmetrical triangle and things get really bad and we're actually hitting this lower trend line of the blue falling wedge, falling, channel? Then down here, that's around $50,000. If not into the 40s. What if that happens before making a power move? There is downside in play on the short term, but this is also why I watch these areas. Even for instance, right now, Bitcoin's at the 200-day. Maybe we hold. Can Bitcoin even right now, as we're trading within this lower high Fibonacci, break above it? Remember, we want to see Bitcoin break above, and we can talk about the areas that we really want to see Bitcoin break above to end this video. 65,400, 65,500. That's what we want to see. $2,000 move for Bitcoin right now would be awesome. Start approaching this trend line around 68,000 and then breakout. That's the move that we're looking for the bulls, right? And on the short term, even in a bullish environment, Bitcoin can fall. The 50-day moving average, very confluent with the lower high Fibonacci, the lower end of it, 62,000. And then the 20-day support around 60,000. So 60, 62,000, and also right where Bitcoin is right now, those are supports. And then we know the resistance. So we'll see. We'll track Bitcoin on the short term. This is what I'm watching, everybody. I hope you're doing well out there to start this week. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Turn notifications on. Again, your support means a ton to me as I continue to try and grow this channel. So have an awesome start to your week. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.